and welcome back. Today we are going to be working on page 23 and Essential Elements, book 2, and we're going to continue working on those backward extensions on the D string and the A string. So remember that our backward extension is what we get when we, in first position, straighten out our first finger to get a whole step from first to second. And the notes are E flat on the D string and then B flat on the A string. And usually when we have a backward extension, you're going to be using your second finger note, which will be your normal second finger note, the one that you would normally play with the second finger, and your fourth finger note, but not your third finger note. So your hand position should look like this, and you play first, second, and fourth, as well as maybe the open string. Let's go ahead and get started with number 103, which is called Hiking Along. This one starts on the B flat on the A string. Uses a key signature to show us where the flats are. The key of B flat major has a B flat and an E flat in it. So those flats are both in the key signature. So you'll know on this one that you use second finger on the G string for B flat. B flat is also the extended first finger on the A string. And then the fourth note of the scale is E flat, which you'll find on the D string. So you're going to stay in that extended position for this one. Here we go. Number 104, B flat major scale. Is called Slovakian folk song, and this one gives us some eighth notes, and they've reminded you the X1 that you've been seeing on the first finger note, that stands for extension, and generally when you see the X in your fingering, that's just reminding you that you have the open fingering instead of the closed fingering. So anytime you see that X1, that means it's an extension. And then sometimes you'll see for the forward extension in X4, you're always doing the extension with your first finger regardless, but some of the notes that you need to extend for are played by the fourth finger, in which case you'll see X4 as the fingering. But just remember that the whole step's always going to be between first and second finger. And it is really important that you do use the second finger when you are in the extended position. Let's go ahead and do the Slovakian folk song number 105. This one is also in the key of B flat major. You do have to remember that on the G string, you do not do the first finger extension. You do not have an A flat. That's what it would be. It would be A flat if you extended that, or it could be G sharp, but you do not have either of those notes in the key signature. So your regular first finger for the A last measure. And then we'll go ahead and move on to Cavalier Country number 106. Notice the quarter notes in this one are marked staccato, so you want to use really quick bow strokes with some space in between. So stopping the bow on the string between those notes, and but with fast bows. And this one also is in the key of B flat major. last one on the page, the Essential Elements Quiz number 107, which is a traditional Jewish song. And this one has got a few things to watch out for. We do have some hooked bowings on the quarter notes in measure 1 and measure 3. When you get to measure 6, that's the second measure on the second line, you have a ritardando, which tells you to slow down in that measure. You're going to gradually slow down, and then the fermata over the third note in that measure, that is the note E flat. You will sustain that note a little bit longer than a quarter note. So the tempo kind of grinds to a halt there, and then when it says a tempo in measure 7, that you pick it back up to the original tempo. So you're back in tempo after the fermata. So you just listen really carefully for the timing and get ready to slow down and stop the tempo when you get to measure 6. When I got to that fermata note, the E flat, we go. That is a longer note, and it is the extended note. I did bring the rest of my hand back. I didn't keep the finger all stretched out for that note because it's a little bit uncomfortable, and also eventually you're going to want to do vibrato on some of these notes. And when you do vibrato, you need to have the whole hand over the finger that is vibrating. So some things to think about. The extension is a tricky technique at first, but it does come up all the time in our music, so it's really important that we get comfortable with it. And then just remember that the stretch is always between the first and the second finger. So that does it for page 23. Good luck and happy practicing.